Welcome to Humboldt County Resource Family Approvals Orientation. Resource Family Approval is the foster care licensing program in the state of California. You may also hear it referred to as RFA. Today, we will go over all the steps necessary to become a resource family, as well as some of the basic expectations of a resource family home. Once you have finished this video, you will take a short quiz in Binti to receive credit for attending this orientation. The child welfare system is full of acronyms, and social workers often forget that not everyone knows what they mean. If someone ever uses an acronym you don't understand, please feel free to ask them for clarification. In RFA, we will frequently use the terms matched and unmatched homes. If you are a matched home, it means you are here for a specific child. You may even already have emergency placement of this child. Unmatched refers to homes from the community who do not have a specific child identified, but who want to be open to providing care to foster youth. Foster family agencies, or FFAs, are another option to complete the RFA process. If you are willing or already providing care to higher needs youth, you are encouraged to complete RFA through one of our local FFAs. They are able to provide more direct support than the county can and may pay higher rates for children who qualify. Any family interested in becoming a RFA home can choose to do so through an FFA. The RFA process began in 2017 with the Continuum of Care Reform, a California law. This made significant changes to the way foster homes are licensed and maintained. It also changed how group homes are managed and made strict timelines associated with their use. Prior to 2017, traditional foster homes, now referred to as unmatched homes, were licensed by the state through community care licensing. Relatives or friends of family, now referred to as matched homes, were managed by the county. Matched homes had very quick assessments involving background checks, a home safety assessment, and a quick meeting with the family. There were no training requirements for relatives, and thorough assessments were not completed until it was determined a child needed a permanent home. Sometimes it was found that families were unwilling to be the permanent plan or were unable to qualify, resulting in the child needing to be moved after already having made strong connections in the home. With the Continuum of Care change, they renamed the foster care licensing program to Resource Family Approval in an effort to include relatives providing care and support to family. It changed the process to make everyone have the same rules and expectations, regardless of whether they are matched or an unmatched home. Homes who have emergency placement have 120 days to complete all application requirements. This means that they do have priority when it comes to assigning for assessments. If they do not complete all application requirements within 120 days, their funding may be at risk. With the Continuum of Care change, they renamed the foster care licensing program to Resource Family Approval in an effort to include relatives providing care and support to family. It changed the process to make everyone have the same rules and expectations, regardless of whether they are matched or an unmatched home. Homes who have emergency placement have 120 days to complete all application requirements. This means that they do have priority when it comes to assigning for assessments. If they do not complete all application requirements within 120 days, their funding may be at risk. It is important to note that Resource Family Approval does not make placement, adoption, or concurrent plan decisions. These decisions are ultimately made by the court, with emergency response, ongoing, or adoption social workers making a recommendation. Becoming a certified Resource Family Approval home does not guarantee placement of any child. Full adoption or guardianship assessments do not begin until services have been terminated to the parents and a decision has been made for the appropriate permanent plan for a child. In most cases, families are able to successfully reunify with their children and a permanent plan is not necessary. Permanent plans are decided with ongoing conversations between the assigned social worker, parents, resource families, and the child. Having placement of a child does not guarantee that you will be the permanent plan. If a child and parent do not reunify, the department may have looked into concurrent plans out of state or out of county. If you have any questions about the permanent plan for a child, please speak with the children's social worker. The written directives are the regulations that guide all RFA requirements. Some of the requirements outlined in the written directives address foster youth rights. Foster youth have more rights than your biological children have, including the right to privacy and no physical discipline. Foster youth are never to be posted on social media. You cannot cut a foster youth's hair without written consent from the parents or a court stipulation. You cannot travel out of the state of California with a foster youth without a court stipulation allowing this. If you want to travel out of the county of Humboldt, you must first inform your child's social worker. You will get additional training on foster youth rights, but if you have any immediate questions, please contact your child's social worker. If you currently have emergency placement of a child, you have 90 days from the date of placement to complete all RFA requirements. If you do not complete all requirements within that 90 days, you may lose funding and placement may be at risk. If you do not have current placement of the child, you'll be expected to complete all requirements prior to being assigned to a social worker for assessment. If you are not engaging with the process, we will cease review of your application and you will need to contact the department if you want to reopen your application. The basic requirements to apply as an RFA home are to be 18 years or older and in good physical and mental health. Any adult shall be permitted to apply for a resource family approval, regardless of age, sex, race, religion, color, political affiliation, national origin, disability, marital status, gender identity, gender expression, actual or perceived sexual orientation, medical conditions, genetic information, citizenship, primary language, immigration status, or ancestry. To be a resource family home, you must be able to accept the temporary nature of foster care. Child Welfare Services is not an adoption agency. They are a reunification agency that sometimes results in adoptions or guardianships. In the vast majority of cases, the number one goal is the reunification of their children with their parents. As a resource parent, you are expected to be a part of the team that supports the youth and family in meeting their goals. Additionally, you will be expected to provide support for any children placed in your home during transitions out of your home. This transition could be back to their parents, to another RFA home, or to a permanent placement. Your home must meet state licensing requirements. If you have emergency placement of children, the department may be able to assist you in fixing any deficiencies found in your home. If you do not have placement of children, you will be expected to address any deficiencies yourself. As a resource family home, you fall under mandated reporting requirements. You are mandated to report all suspected child abuse or neglect of any child placed in your care. Your first step in becoming a resource family home is attending orientation. Congratulations, you're here. There will be a short quiz in Binti that you can take at the end of this training to show that you have attended. Your next step is to fill out and complete an application on Binti, and then call and schedule your background checks. Depending on the results of the background check, you may be required to complete an exemption. You are required to complete all forms requested in Binti and upload all required documents. You must complete all trainings, a home environment assessment, and all required interviews. Once the assigned social worker completes a written report, you must review and sign it in order to become fully approved. All adults who live in the home or are regularly present must complete all required background checks. Your assigned RFA social worker will help you determine who qualifies as regularly present. If you have emergency placement and have not already completed these background checks, please call on the next business day and get them scheduled as soon as possible. If you do not have emergency placement, please call and schedule only after you've completed and signed your application in Binti. Subsequent arrest notifications are put into place for all adults who live scan for RFA. This means that if at any point anybody who has live scanned for RFA is arrested, we will be informed. Additional arrests may result in a home no longer qualifying for RFA. If you have a criminal background, you may be asked to complete an exemption. This will be either a standard or a simplified exemption. If an exemption is required, you will be informed by a social worker and you will be mailed a packet with details on exactly what steps need to be taken. Please do not start the exemption process until you have received this packet. Once you receive the packet, please start the exemption process right away. There is a lot of required documentation, and it can take some time to gather this. You have 45 days to complete the exemption process. If you find you need more time, please contact your social worker right away. All required forms can be found in Binti. Binti is the online program you use to navigate to this training. You must complete and sign each form for them to count. You will be required to complete an application, a self assessment, health questionnaire, housing verification, and an income and expense form. You must upload evidence of any income you are claiming. This evidence can take the form of income tax forms, pay stubs, or any other form that proves your income. You will need to provide a minimum of 2 references per applicant. If you have your references' email addresses, you can input those into Binti and Binti will email them requesting a reference. Otherwise, please have them write or email a reference including their full name and their phone number. After attending your required trainings, you must upload your training certificates as provided to you from College of the Redwoods. If you rent your home, your landlord and you must complete a rental verification form. If you own your home, you must provide evidence that you do. This could be a property tax statement, a mortgage statement, or any form you have that shows that you own your home. You are required to complete a minimum of 15 hours of training. This training is to be completed through College of the Redwoods Foster and Kinship Care Program. You are expected to complete Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4, and the Indian Child Welfare Act class. Additionally, all applicants must complete CPR and first aid. If you are interested in providing care to a child ages 0 to 1 year old, you must additionally complete our Infants in Care course. You are not required to take these courses in any particular order. It is important that you review the schedule of classes offered by College of the Redwoods, as they are only offered 1 time per month. If you need any assistance signing up for or navigating through the classes, please contact your RFA social worker. It is important while registering through College of the Redwoods that you provide them with your mailing address, as they will mail materials to your home. All classes are completed via Zoom. All Resource Family homes must meet requirements as outlined on the Home Assessment Checklist. A copy of this checklist was provided to you in the initial email you received from Resource Family Approval. Your home is expected to continue to meet these requirements as long as you are RFA approved. As part of the assessment to become a Resource Family home, all applicants must be interviewed. If there are 2 applicants, there will also be a joint interview in addition to the individual interviews conducted. Everyone who resides in the home will be individually interviewed. This includes any biological children you may have. All information gathered throughout the RFA assessment process will be gathered together in a final written report. All applicants get a copy of the same report. There is no off-the-record information. If a child placed in your home is eligible for enrollment in a Native American tribe, that tribe has a right to participate in this process with RFA in the family. The tribe determines the extent to which they want to participate. Some tribes may choose to be there at every interview during every step of the process. Other tribes may choose to only review the written report at the end of the process. Your RFA social worker will inform you the extent to which that tribe wants to be involved. If you take placement of a child who is eligible for enrollment in a Native American tribe after you are fully approved, that tribe has the right to be provided a full copy of your written report. Here is a graphic that shows how all information is gathered together for a comprehensive RFA assessment that results in the final written report. If it is determined that you do not meet the basic requirements for Resource Family approval, your social worker will notify you before any denial. You would then receive written notification in the mail, and attached to that notification is your appeal rights. You have the right to file an appeal and have it heard before the court. It is important that you pay close attention to the appeal deadline, as appeals cannot be accepted after the deadline outlined in the written notification. If you are able to be approved, you must maintain all annual training requirements in order to maintain that approval. You will receive a letter in the mail 120 days before your annual training is due. Once approved, all resource parents are expected to continue to maintain standards as outlined in the written directives. This includes 8 hours of annual training. You must complete Module 2 every single year. During your first year of approval, you must also complete the Commercial Sexual Exploitation of Children course. A letter will be sent to resource parents 3 months prior to the annual training coming due. Additional training hours may be completed through College of the Redwoods, the Quality Parenting Initiative, or other community training resources. You are expected to save and upload all training certificates to Binti. In addition to your annual training requirements, you must also complete a biannual update. Biannual updates consist of an updated home safety assessment walkthrough, as well as an updated written report. If there are any significant changes in the home prior to the required biannual update, you must contact Resource Family Approval to have an update of your home conducted. Some examples of significant changes would be if you move, divorce, or prior to moving any adult into the home. As an approved resource family home, you must contact RFA prior to moving any adult into your home. One of the expectations of resource family approval is to always maintain foster youth rights. Senate Bill 407 requires a resource family to demonstrate an ability and willingness to meet the needs of a child, regardless of the child's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. You must show a willingness to keep children connected to their family and their culture. This can include attending cultural events. You must never use physical discipline with the foster youth, and you cannot cut their hair. Foster youth have many other rights which will be outlined in your trainings, as well as in a pamphlet that you should receive upon placement. Relatives who reside outside of Humboldt County, but who want to provide care to a Humboldt County youth, must go through resource family approval in the county in which their home resides. If you reside in Humboldt County but are interested in a youth from another county, please let us know. Residents of other states will need to be assessed by their state of residence. If you reside in California but are interested in a youth from another state, an ICPC must be started by that other state. You are encouraged to start the RFA process as soon as possible. You do not need to wait until the ICPC has been requested. If you have any questions about taking placement of youth from other counties or states, please give us a call. Resource parents are required to keep in contact with RFA. If anything happens outside of the normal expectations of providing care to a child, an unusual incident report must be filed with RFA. You received an electronic copy of an unusual incident report in the first email communication you received from RFA. You can contact RFA at any time if you need a new copy of an unusual incident report. An example of an unusual incident would be if at any point in time you need to take the child to the emergency room. All unusual incident reports should be emailed to the Humboldt County RFA email address. In addition to filing unusual incident reports, you should contact RFA anytime there are any major changes in the household. If you do not have any active placements, you may choose to go inactive from RFA for up to 2 years. While in an active status, you are not required to maintain your home environment or your annual training requirements. You may become active at any time, but before doing so, you must complete an update. At the end of the 2-year period, you must either become active again or relinquish your RFA approval. Once you relinquish your RFA approval, in order to become an RFA home again, you must recomplete the entirety of the process. If a concern is reported that an RFA home is not meeting standard, a complaint investigation may occur. If a complaint is filed against an RFA home, an RFA social worker will conduct an unannounced visit. They will interview the resource parents, the children, and anybody who may have been witness to whatever the complaint is alleging. If a complaint is substantiated or found to be inconclusive, this can result in a corrective action plan. Substantiations may result in the removal of children and/or the rescission of your approval. If allegations rise to the level of suspected child abuse or neglect, an emergency response social worker may also respond. Emergency response social workers are investigating child safety. RFA social workers are investigating licensing violations. In most cases, RFA social workers do go out with the emergency response investigator, but this is not always possible. Some complaints may be evaluated out. This means that even if the allegation in the complaint did occur, it would not be a licensing violation. At the time of your biannual update, you will be informed of any complaints that came in that were evaluated out. If you have placement of a child receiving services through Children's Mental Health, you may qualify for a parent partner. Parent partners are DHHS employees with real, lived experience of parenting children with behavioral health struggles. They are there to support and help you reach whatever your goals are, to be a non judgmental peer ally and advocate in the process of coping with children's challenging behaviors and supporting their growth and healing. Some concrete tasks that parent partners can engage in are provide support in navigating systems, attend school meetings, attend court hearings, attend meetings with CWS and any other kind of meetings with clients, help identify the goals of the parents and provide support in reaching them, be a sounding board and provide empathetic listening, provide education, teach skills, role play challenging scenarios for the parent to gain experience and confidence. Please contact your children's mental health clinician, mental health case manager, or psychiatrist if you are interested in this program. Child Welfare Services does not pay for child care. The Child Care Foster Bridge program is an option for families who need child care assistance. The Foster Care Bridges program provides a child care navigator who will help families find a child care provider and develop a long-term plan. It may also provide emergency child care vouchers to help pay for child care. To learn more about the program, please contact Changing Tides Family Services or your CWS social worker. A flyer for this program was included in the original email you received from the Resource Family Approval Program. As this orientation comes to a close, I'm going to go over your next steps. First, complete the orientation quiz in Binti. That is how you get credit for attending this orientation. Next, you would complete all required paperwork in Binti and register for your classes through the Foster and Kinship Care Education Program through College of the Redwoods. Once you have signed your application in Binti, you may call 707-499-3410 to schedule your background checks. You can expect to receive a letter approximately every 2 weeks outlining what you have left to complete. If you ever have questions about what you have left to complete, please call the person listed at the bottom of that letter. The state of California has a satisfaction survey for all applicants of Resource Family Approval. The survey is intended for every household participating in the application process, whether the application results in withdrawal, approval, or denial. The purpose of this survey is to determine how families perceive the approval process and to identify strengths, weaknesses, and barriers in the process. Below is a link to the survey. You should also have received a link in the original email sent to you by Resource Family Approval. Additionally, once your application is terminated, whether that be through approval, withdrawal, or denial, you will again be sent the survey link via email. The Resource Family Approval Unit is here to assist you every step of the way. If you need support, please do not hesitate to contact us, either by email or by phone. Thank you for attending this orientation. We look forward to working with you through this process.